And we are live. Welcome back to Takes by Fans. We got a great show for you today. As always, we are live every single day at noon Eastern. If you want to watch live, head over to twitch.tv/takesbyfans. If you want to watch but not live, head over to our YouTube channel, Takes by Fans. We post all of our shows and clips of the show there on a daily basis. And if you just want to listen, we are on podcasting apps, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio. So however you want to watch or listen, we've got you covered multiple ways. Alrighty, today is a big old Friday. That means we have to once again update our NBA power rankings. I'ma just give it away right off the rip. I mean, the Bulls, man. How disappointed have the Bulls been this week? We put them in the top 10 and they immediately start losing. So thanks, Bulls, for crushing us. So they're obviously out of the top 10. We've got a couple of new teams up here in the top 10. Three new teams up in the top 10, so congratulations to them. We got a new number 1. We got a new number 2. Do we got a new number 3? You're gosh darn right we do. So a lot of mix up here. A fantastic week in the NBA. So we got to update who are now the new best teams and who are now the new worst teams. So we do update our power rankings today in the NBA. We'll go over the NBA games from last night as well. We got continuing on with our draft prospect of the day, looking at Cade Johnson, a wide receiver from South Dakota State in the FCS, not the FBS, like Trey Lance is in the FCS, North Dakota State. This wide receiver's at South Dakota State. So we'll see how he's looking out there, seeing if our teams should go out and draft that man. And yeah, that's the show for today. So let's just jump right into it with the first story up. And man, I don't get it. I do not get it, man. But here we go. 98% of NFL teams think the 49ers will draft Mac Jones, according to Michael Lombardi. What is it? What is it that that Mac Jones? I was gonna say Daniel Jones. I was like, Daniel Jones is real good. But what does Mac Jones do that Jimmy Garoppolo hasn't done? I truly don't get it. If the 49ers want to move off Jimmy Garoppolo, that's fine. I've got no problem with that. The man can't stay healthy, and that is a big old question mark in this league. Every time he's out there, he's either injured or getting to the Super Bowl, and he's been to one Super Bowl and got injured 3 times. So he's on the more side of injury prone than Super Bowl prone every single season. But what does Mac Jones specifically do? Yes, he had a fantastic season at Alabama. I'm not denying that. It was truly great. I mean, they won the national championship game. He had a 77 completion percentage, 4,500 yards, 41 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. I mean, truly a fantastic season. He got it done in the playoffs. He got it done in the bowl games. He did all of that. So, yes, he had an absolutely incredible season. But for one, it's one season in college in a COVID year, and 2, he has an all-pro, all-stacked, already talented roster offensively for that Alabama team. I mean, Devontae Smith, who's a Heisman winner, who has been at Alabama all 4 seasons, played absolutely well under Tua as well, and is now, one of the best, probably will go number 1 wide receiver overall in this year's draft. They also have Najee Harris, an amazing running back that has been there all 4 years, that has been there with Tua and had success with Tua as well. And now Najee Harris will probably be the first running back taken in this year's draft, him or Travis Etienne. It's one of the two. And then they got Jalen Waddle on their other side for the receiver position, who's basically Tyreek Hill, and in college, speed kills, and that man was killing every defender out there. So Mac Jones had an absolutely stacked offensive roster to get all these great accolades of 77% completion percentage, 4,500 yards. It's right on the dot, too. 4,500, looking clean, that number. Love it. And then 41 touchdowns and 4 interceptions. Absolutely fantastic. 4-1 or 10-1 touchdown to interception ratio. Holy moly. Fantastic. So, yes, he was great in college, but once again, it's college. It's the COVID year. It's one season with an absolutely stacked roster. So I don't really get what Jimmy Garoppolo can't do, because Jimmy Garoppolo has already proven in this league, if he can stay healthy. Once again, that's the one knock on Jimmy Garoppolo. He just can't stay healthy. But that one season, he did. He got to the Super Bowl, 69% completion percentage. I'm going to tell y'all right now, Mac Jones is not going to have like a 65 plus completion percentage his first year. It will not happen. Maybe not even his second year. It's going to take 3 or 4 years to get that man developed for the NFL. I do not think he's going to come out of college and instantly be like Justin Herbert, who just had an absolutely mind-blowing rookie season, multiple records. I think that's going to be kind of the season that Trevor Lawrence has this season. I think we're going to be talking about Trevor Lawrence like we did Justin Herbert last season. But Mac Jones, I don't see it. I mean, Jimmy Garoppolo's already proven, hey, I can go out and throw 69% completion percentage, 3,900 yards, 27 touchdowns, 13 interceptions, 2-to-1 touchdown to interception ratio. You're never getting 10-to-1 touchdown to interception ratio unless you're maybe Aaron Rodgers. But man, oh man. And then I just kind of want to quickly, who was Jimmy Garoppolo? Who were his weapons here offensively for their kind of Super Bowl run? Who was this man going to? So here we go. They had Tevin Coleman, their running back. He had 500 yards, 6 touchdowns. Their wide receivers, Deebo Samuel, 800 yards, 3 touchdowns. Emmanuel Sanders, 500 yards, 3 touchdowns. So no 1,000-yard wide receiver. They did have George Kittle, who did get the 1,000-yard mark, but, a tight end, so kind of like what the Chiefs were doing. But, Deebo Samuel, Emmanuel Sanders, that's not really A1 tier 1. Wide receivers there. Emmanuel Sanders is good. Don't get me wrong. I am a big fan of him. But really just kind of checking down to the tight end a little bit. But, if you're going to bring Mac Jones into this system, he's going to do the same exact thing that Jimmy Garoppolo did. Just go to George Kittle for 1,000 yards. That's simple. It's that simple for, Mac Jones to do that. And we know tight ends in the NFL right now are just, emerging like wildly these last 2-3 seasons. Travis Kelce, the leading receiver for the Chiefs. We got freaking Darren Waller going absolutely nuts over there with the Raiders. George Kittle still. So I just truly don't understand the hype around Mac Jones. Obviously, we all know Trevor Lawrence is going number 1 overall to the Jags. Number 2 for the Jets, it either really could be Justin Fields or Zach Wilson. I really can't get a clear read, but the 49ers are 3, so they get Zach Wilson or Justin Fields. I would take Zach Wilson or Justin Fields over Mac Jones any day of the week. Mac Jones would be the last quarterback I drafted in this draft class. I do not get it. An absolute stacked roster for good production, but it's 1 year. I would rather bet on Trey Lance. Well, yeah, I guess I would rather bet on Trey Lance as well. I'd rather bet on Trey Lance. I'd rather bet on Zach Wilson, and I definitely would rather bet on Justin Fields. Justin Fields should theoretically be the second quarterback taken in this draft. Trevor Lawrence is the clear-cut number 1 just because we've been talking about him for like 4 seasons. In that first year, he literally wowed everybody. He could have came out of college his first year, honestly, if that was, allowed. But yeah, I'm not getting this Mac Jones thing. I think this is going to be kind of a draft day story where pick number 29 is coming up, pick number 30 is coming up, and Mac Jones is still on the board. I really think this man's going to be the last quarterback taken. I just don't get the appeal of this man, and I truly don't get the appeal for the 49ers to get this man when Jimmy Garoppolo literally can do the same exact things that this man can do. They're both like 6'3", and Jimmy Garoppolo is a little bit beefier. Jimmy Garoppolo is like 225. Mac Jones was like 210. So I just truly do not get it why you would move. If you want to move, like I said, if you want to move off of Jimmy Garoppolo, that's fine because he cannot stay healthy, and that's a valid reason to move off of a quarterback. But to bring in Mac Jones as his replacement, I truly just do not see it. So we'll see what happens here at the draft. Cannot wait. Under 2 weeks away now for the draft. It's going to be an absolutely great one. Besides pick number 1, we really have no idea what the heck is going on in this draft. We don't even know really who the good quarterbacks are. Usually we have, all right, this is kind of the surefire number 1 quarterback. This is the surefire number 2. But after Trevor Lawrence, it gets real hazy on who's really emerging themselves and who's really going to be kind of the best quarterback besides Trevor Lawrence in this draft. So I don't think it's Mac Jones. I truly do not think it's Mac Jones. Once again, a fantastic year this year in Alabama. Absolutely fantastic. But a star-studded roster around him under Nick Saban. Come on, I'm not gonna give him all that praise just quite yet. So, like I said, we'll see what happens. Draft is the 29th, folks. Absolutely cannot wait. We do have our live draft show where we haven't set the time in stone. I'm assuming the draft coverage probably starts at 7:30, so we'll probably go live at 7ish. But hang around to our Twitter at Takes by Fans for all that solid information. And on draft week, we'll be telling y'all it, once we have the concrete details of everything, we'll be saying that on the show every day. So you will not miss it. I can guarantee you. Alrighty, let's move on. And once again, folks, we just told you yesterday we have 5 straight years every single day of telling you why Julian Edelman should be in the Hall of Fame. And Bill Belichick not only had one quote, but he doubled down on the quotes yesterday. So let's see what Billy B is still saying about Julie E, baby. So here we go. Bill Belichick quote here, just from yesterday, newest quote. Here we go. Julian's been one of the players that's probably come further than most every other player that I've coached, and his development from a quarterback in college to a receiver, a punt returner, and even a defensive player, all positions that he never played. I'd certainly take Snail as a punt returner, as a receiver for a number of years at those very difficult positions as quite an accomplishment, especially considering he hasn't trained to do any of those things in college, Belichick said. So once again, I mean, another great point. Everybody's bringing up, all these other wide receivers that aren't in the Hall of Fame, Hines Ward. I'm blanking on some other ones, but there are some other notable wide receivers out there that aren't in the Hall of Fame, and that's fine. And those players, have definitely have their case to be made. But the fact that we're like boxing in Julian Edelman 100% as the wide receiver, it's not really that. He was kind of, a Swiss Army knife out there. In college, he wasn't even a wide receiver. So, all those great wide receivers that are currently in the Hall of Fame, when they, played Pop Warner in high school and college, they were always a wide receiver. Julian Edelman was like, I'm a quarterback. I'm a quarterback. Oh, now that I'm in the league. So he didn't even have all that training. And the fact that we're like boxing Julian Edelman as kind of a single like wide receiver, and that's like the only way that we can put him in the Hall of Fame is just kind of what he did at the wide receiver position. I think it's a little nonsense. Like I said, he's a great winner. He stepped up at the highest moments. We can make room for that in the Hall of Fame. We don't have to, categorize everybody in the Hall of Fame. Obviously, for career-setting stats, all of that, for wide receivers, yes, I get all of that. But for these players that just step up when it's really crunch time over and over and over again. Like I said, if it was only like one Super Bowl, obviously not. We're not going to put you in the Hall of Fame just for having success in one Super Bowl, or maybe even two. Two, I probably wouldn't advocate for Julian Edelman either, but we're talking 3 straight, and he went to 4 Super Bowls, only played in 3, didn't play in that one Super Bowl against the Giants, and they lost. I got to put some weight into that this man's 3 for 3 in Super Bowls, a huge play, multiple huge plays at different times, he had a huge, great passing play in one of the Super Bowls. So stop just kind of, thinking of Julian Edelman as a strict wide receiver and kind of think of him more as kind of a Swiss Army knife that we can kind of still put in the Hall of Fame, not mainly under the wide receiver category in the Hall of Fame, but just an excellent, above average winner, absolute winner, concrete winner, true champion in this league. We can kind of make a different room in the Hall of Fame for that. Great at a position, but then just kind of when the winning needed to get done, that's when it got it done. So I'm going to still side with Bill Belichick here. Once again, he's bringing up some great points. He was a quarterback in college, folks. Come on. Give this man a little bit more respect, and I think we still have to make room for this man in the Hall of Fame. But let's continue on with this Billy B quote here. All right, where do we leave off? Very difficult positions as quite an accomplishment, especially considering he hasn't trained to do those things in college, Belichick said. Quote, his toughness, his competitiveness, his playmaking ability certainly is a big, big part of the backbone of our team. I have a ton of respect for Julian and what he accomplished in his career, how hard he worked to accomplish it, and a great appreciation for all he's done for me personally and our organization. So that's so high. I mean, when does Bill Belichick really ever praise players like this, man? It doesn't happen that often. Bill Belichick is recognizing, this man, he was really the backbone of our team. He's bringing more, he's not just what he does on the field. He brings that energy. He brings that kind of confidence. He makes everybody buy in on the team because he buys in so much that it's infectious to those players around him. So we still have 5 years to talk about this topic, but Bill Belichick doubling down, saying, hey, he's not just a wide receiver out there, folks. He was a quarterback in college, and now he's punt returning, kick returning. It's hard out there. Not everybody can do it. That's so. I still think we got to give Julian Edelman some credit here for the Hall of Fame. Don't just get bogged down that, looking at all the wide receivers in the Hall of Fame and then comparing it to what Julian Edelman is. Don't think of that, because all those wide receivers in the Hall of Fame were just pure wide receivers, A1, tier 1 wide receivers out there. Julian Edelman, more of a Swiss Army knife, getting it done when it mattered, bringing out all the stops when it mattered, doing what he can do to be that playmaker, the big playmaking ability that we just heard from Bill Belichick there. So I think we got to look at this man as a Hall of Famer, truly. 3 Super Bowls, 3-0 in Super Bowls that he played, all having a huge impact in all those Super Bowls for that win. He's a great winner, folks, and I think we have to start respecting winners in this league. Alrighty, let's move on. What else do we get here? Alrighty, NFL announces exclusive official sports betting partners. Alrighty, I'm sure you can guess most of these. Obviously, FanDuel, DraftKings, but they also did include Caesars Casino in Vegas. So we get Caesars, DraftKings, and FanDuel's will have the right to integrate relevant sports betting content directly into NFL media properties, including NFL.com and the NFL app. DraftKings and FanDuel will enhance their fans' experience with NFL highlights, footage, and next-gen stats content. Caesars and the NFL will collaborate on integrating NFL content into Caesars platforms as well. Caesars, DraftKings, and FanDuel will all use the NFL's official league data feed. So, we all knew this was coming. Sports betting, we all know. We all seen it. You flip on a game on Sundays, and it's literally back to back to back to back to back. That's the only ad now. It's sports betting and it's beer. Those are the only 2 ads every single commercial break in the NFL during football Sundays. So obviously, this was going to get done. More and more states are legalizing, betting on sports, mobile betting on sports. Hopefully, that's coming to New York anytime soon, hopefully. But, the NFL, obviously, they were going to get their percentage. Did you not think that they were going to get some money out of this? Of course they were. So, partnering up with DraftKings, FanDuel, obviously, those are the only real big sports books out there mobily. And, obviously, Caesars, we're talking Vegas out here. They are a staple down there. So NFL is going to be getting their money. Hopefully makes it a little bit easier, more convenient for us as bettors out there. So, nothing could have stopped this from happening. It's just, now it's finally here. Like I said, we all knew this was happening. We all know this was the direction that, society and the league was heading, and now it is finally here. So, congratulations to DraftKings, FanDuel, and Caesars, because we know kind of how stingy the NFL is with their kind of rights and all of that. So, very well done for them to secure that, and the NFL is going to be making so much more money now. Gosh damn. When the rich get richer, gosh darn, that's it right there. Alrighty, let's move on. Here we go. Titans head coach Mike Vrabel not worried about Derrick Henry's workload. Quote, nobody prepares for the rigors of the season more than Derrick. Absolutely. We've been keeping tabs on this man's offseason workouts. We've seen other players and other running backs, players on his own team. We saw Ryan Tannehill trying to copy his workout and really not even looking as strong as Derrick Henry is out there. I'm seeing some other running backs kind of posting their offseason workout routines, and it's a lot of just kind of work on the field. But this man's in the lab, getting big, getting right, ready to rock. What Derrick Henry has really done for this Titans team over these last 2 years, a true strict workhorse back, absolutely, really relying on him to go get it done. And like we've been saying this offseason, this is going to be Derrick Henry's big year. This is going to be it. I think this is going to be the year that Derrick Henry has the potential, has the possibility to go out and break the single season rushing record. I think he's going to do it this year, because we've seen the Titans kind of lose one of their 2 great wide receivers in Corey Davis. I think they got A.J. Brown. They lost one of the 2. I think they did lose Corey Davis. So they're not going to have that deep threat ability as consistent as they did these last 2 years. We see them kind of shoring up their defense a little bit more. So I think Mike Vrabel's like, we know we really can't win with Ryan Tannehill leading us to the promised land. We try to have that work these last 2 seasons, and we got to the AFC Championship game one time. That was great, but we really couldn't rely on them to win this game. And then I think just this season, I don't think they even won their first playoff game, or they got bounced the second round. But either way, not making that deep, long playoff run. So Mike Vrabel's going to switch it up a little bit. Let's focus on defense and run heavy attack, and he's got no problem because Derrick Henry's going to answer the call like he does every single season, folks. So watch out. This is going to be Derrick Henry's year, where I already think this man has his name on the map, but if y'all haven't heard of him, if y'all don't really respect him like that, he's going to go out and put everybody on notice this year. Watch out for Derrick Henry to break the rushing record this season, folks. I think it truly is going to be his best chance at it, now that they're kind of slightly stepping away from Ryan Tannehill trying to carry this team. And we've seen time and time again these last 2 seasons of Derrick Henry just getting it done by himself. Multiple walk-off touchdowns for wins. Just absolutely magnificent. So Mike Vrabel's not worried about Derrick Henry. We're definitely not worried about Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry can and will get it done, folks. So absolutely, obviously, I probably miss this player the most. I miss watching this man every single Sunday now that we're in the offseason. I think I miss just watching Derrick Henry just go and get it done every single week. He's the player that I miss the most right now, and I cannot wait to watch this man back on the field. I'm telling y'all, folks, I will lay the show on this. This will be the take. Derrick Henry will be the greatest running back of all time when his career is all said and done, folks. I truly do believe that. So, man, I love watching this man work. So, seeing him get an extra workload out there this season, I'm definitely all about it. I know I said we're Bucks fan this season, but we're still Titans fans down there, down in the heart, folks. I love this man running out there, so cannot wait for Derrick Henry this season. Alrighty, speaking of running backs, this duo thinks they're going to be able to change the league. So here we go. Chris Carson on the Seahawks backfield with Rashad Penny. Quote, "I think we could be one of the top rushing duos in the league." Alrighty, man. Those are some big words from Chris Carson here. So let's kind of see what he's been doing. What can Chris Carson do for us if he's going to kind of say, hey, we're going to be one of the best rushing duos out here. So Chris Carson, he's proven, he's only had 4 seasons here in Seattle, but he's proven he can kind of be that main feature back. 1,100 yards in 2018, 1,200 yards in 2019, getting it done. Decent, running back pass catcher out of the backfield here. We get 163 yards receiving in 2018 and 266 yards receiving in 2019. But then, took a little bit of a step back this year, 681 yards rushing, 287 yards receiving, only 968 yards in totality. Not the greatest. We definitely, if you're a running back, you really need to get 1,000 yards on the ground if you're that A1 tier 1 running back. And you definitely, if you are catching balls out of the backfield, definitely got to be over 1,000 yards then. So he comes up just short with 968 yards of total yards this season for Chris Carson. So he definitely can get it done. But when we're looking at Rashad Penny, this man just came off an ACL surgery. This man just tore his ACL last season, and he hasn't even really proven that he can kind of be that kind of second tier back. We see what he did in 2018, 419 yards, 2019, 370 yards, and then just this season, he tore his ACL 3 games into the season, so not that many yards there. And plus, Rashad Penny doesn't really catch the ball out of the backfield. His best receiving season was 83 yards, so it's going to be a big feat if Chris Carson truly believes this, especially with Rashad Penny coming off that ACL tear. And let's just kind of see what he's going up against. I think, I absolutely loved the Colts running game from last season, and they have 3 great running backs. Let's see what they did. They have Jonathan Taylor, who rushed for his rookie year 1,169 yards, and then had 300 yards catching too, for a grand total of 1,400 yards. 1,468 yards for Jonathan Taylor last year, running back for the Colts, paired up with Nyheim Hines, who had 300 yards rushing and 482 yards receiving, for a grand total of 862 yards. And they still have Marlon Mack in the backfield, who got injured this season, but has proven that he can rush for the 1,000 yards. Just in 2019, his kind of last full healthy season, the man had 1,100 yards total. So, we're talking about 3 running backs on this Colts Colts team that can get you 1,000 yards in total for the season. So that's what Chris Carson and Rashad Penny is going to have to go against. This absolutely stacked Colts running back game of Marlon Mack, Jonathan Taylor, and Nyheim Hines. And now you got Carson Wentz at the helm at the quarterback position, going to open up the passing game a lot more for that man, which will in turn reopen up the running game for these great running backs as well. So I love the confidence here of Chris Carson, but it's going to be real tough out here if he wants to really try to be one of the best running back duos in this league. And then we still have to remember, the Ravens, that's all they do is run the ball. J.K. Dobbins, Gus Edwards, they'll go get it done. We know they don't have Mark Ingram anymore, but they still have 2 of their top 3 over there, and they still got Lamar Jackson in the mix. So yeah, this is going to be a heavy feat for Chris Carson here if he truly believes it. But like I said, I'm all about the confidence. Yes, sir, go out and say it. I've got no problem with this. So we'll hold you to it. We're going to have to hold you to it because you said it. But you said it, and I'm a big fan of the confidence. But we will be tracking Chris Carson and Rashad Penny all season long. Alrighty, let's move on. What do we got up next? Alrighty, here we go. Ryan Khalil says that Adam Gase's system didn't allow Sam Darnold the freedom to develop. Yes, absolutely, of course. I cannot believe the hustle, the swindle that Adam Gase has ran on this league, being hailed as the quarterback guru. This is why I started the show, folks, when he was the head coach of the Dolphins, and I heard all the NFL insiders say, hey, this man is actually a quarterback guru. This man's actually they're gonna win Super Bowls. Him and Ryan Tannehill. Ryan Tannehill looks absolutely fantastic, and now you got the quarterback whisperer, the quarterback guru of Adam Gase as the head coach. Oh my goodness, this team is going to build a dynasty here. And then Adam Gase looked like the absolute worst head coach I have ever seen in my entire life. I would have rather had Dan Campbell over Adam Gase. I truly would have. Adam Gase cannot coach. He doesn't seem like he likes his players. He causes chaos in the locker room. As soon as he got to the Jets, he was calling out Le'Veon Bell, saying that he was overpaid and didn't even really want him on the team. So, he breaks up his own locker room. He doesn't improve any quarterback. I don't care what anybody says. He has one system, and whatever players he has, he shoves and fits and mangles so they can kind of resemble the system that Adam Gase wants to run. But hey, spoiler alert, Adam Gase, your system is absolutely garbage. Run on first down, that picks up a yard. Screen pass, wide receiver screen pass on second and down, that picks up 1 yard. On 3rd and 8, you run like another screen or a slant for 2, 3, 4 yards that now we're 3 and out. So that's what Adam Gase does. He's absolutely trash. That's why we started the show, because I'm like, if NFL insiders are calling this man the quarterback whisperer, then I'm about to just start talking and, saying what I got to say, because I know I'm right most of the time out here. Not to toot my own horn, but, yeah, you can go. We've got the shows. They're all public record out there. We know what our takes are, and we're right most of the time out here. But back to this, we get a nice quote here. It was a system that didn't allow a lot of individual freedom. It was very, you do it this way, and that's it. And yes, once again, that's what Adam Gase does. He does not kind of develop the system on what the players are on his current team. He develops the system and then fits those players into that system. And it doesn't work. You have to play to the strengths of what you have on your team. It doesn't matter what you want to do. You can try, bring in players that you think will help the system. But if you're not molding the system around the players that you currently have, you are not going to win in this league. It just does not work. So it was a system that didn't allow a lot of individual freedom. It was very, you do it this way, and that's it, Khalil said. A lot of the scheme was predetermined plays based on what they thought they were seeing from the sideline. It didn't give Sam a lot of room to grow, in my opinion, to make decisions on the fly. It worked in some instances, but it handicapped him in the long run, and I think that kind of, sums it up 1,000% accurate. He did the same thing with Ryan Tannehill. If we look at kind of what Ryan Tannehill was doing with the Dolphins over, his first couple of 6 seasons there with Adam Gase under the helm, nothing truly great. His best completion percentage years was 66%, 67%. That's kind of what he maxed out on. And just kind of when we're looking at these passing attempts too, I mean, he's having Ryan Tannehill his second season go out and throw 588 passes, 590 passes, 586 passes. That is a crap ton, folks. And it didn't even result in that great of production. I mean, with 588 passing attempts, he threw for 3,900 yards, not even at 4,000 yet. Then for 590 attempts, he completed 4,000 yards. In 586 attempts, he completed for 4,200 yards. So just kind of the bottom of the barrel, 400 yards. But when we kind of compare that to what Aaron Rodgers does Aaron Rodgers even throw the ball 588 times? Let's see how many times Aaron Rodgers has thrown the ball more than 500, and we'll just do a mark of 560 times here. So he did 536, 541, 475, 502, 550, 552, 290, 520, 572, and he threw for 3,800 yards, 610, and he threw for 4,400 yards. So when we're just kind of looking at the sheer discrepancy, when Aaron Rodgers throws the ball a lot of times, it's high completion percentage, it's higher yards. But Adam Gase, with Ryan Tannehill's first season, the man was like, yeah, go throw the ball almost 600 freaking times. That's not Ryan Tannehill's game. Once again, kind of Adam Gase is molding these players into the system, forcing them to fit that one system that Adam Gase thought was good. And then Ryan Tannehill, now it is a little bit tougher out here because with the Titans, now that Tannehill's with the Titans, they do have Derrick Henry, so their running game is absolutely a lot better. So obviously they're not going to be having Ryan Tannehill throw the ball 500, 600 times. I get all of that, but Adam Gase had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years with the Dolphins here, and Ryan Tannehill, and he never thought, hey, I should kind of, maybe start up a little bit more of a better running game out there. Maybe kind of, take less passes for Ryan Tannehill. He never did that. He still forced Ryan Tannehill into doing not good things out here that never resulted into any meaningful wins, never translated to really any meaningful yards or stats or anything like that. The best season was 8-8. That's Ryan Tannehill's best season out there. Just nothing truly great out there. So Adam Gase, truly a trash coach, quarterback whisperer, offensive coordinator. So just absolutely really not good out here. And then in 2019, Ryan Tannehill's first year with the Titans, he has his best completion percentage year at 70% completion percentage, only throwing the ball 286 times. And then he just threw the ball 481 times last season and still had a great completion percentage, 65% completion percentage, which is in turn his fourth highest overall his entire career. So, Adam Gase is absolutely trash. And whoever thought that man was good, you need to absolutely be fired from your job because you have no idea what you're talking about. So Sam Darnold hopefully thrives. Ryan Tannehill thrived without Adam Gase, and that's really the main point of the story, that Sam Darnold really potentially will also thrive without Adam Gase now that he's with Matt Rule in Carolina. So we'll obviously we are going to already be keeping an eye on Sam Darnold, but let's keep a little bit of a bigger eye on Sam Darnold to really kind of see, did Adam Gase really hold this man back a lot? I think so. Ryan Khalil says so as well. So we'll see what he does this season. Alrighty, a new team and more players are kind of joining the boycott of the voluntary workouts because of the COVID-19 protocols in the NFL. So now the Cleveland Browns have released a statement from their player organization kind of saying, for these reasons of COVID-19 still continuing to affect our players, our families, our communities, we're still not feeling like the NFL is doing that much to protect the players out there. So for those reasons, we stand in solidarity with the players from other clubs by exercising our CBA rights to not attend in-person voluntary workouts this offseason. So once again, a lot of these players, a lot of these teams, we've already seen the Bucks do it. And what was the other team? Damn. Blanking on the other team. We've seen the Bucks. We just get the Browns now, and there was another team out there that are like, what, we are just going to do virtual. We're going to kind of skip the in-person voluntary workouts this season. Still going to do it all virtual. It worked for us last year. At least that's what the Bucks said. It worked for us last year. We won the ring, so we're still going to hold ourselves accountable and still get it done virtually because, hey, we won a ring doing it, so we can do it again. If you can do it once, you can do it again. So more teams, more players out here, and I've got no problem with that. Absolutely do what's best for you. if it's agreed upon in the collective bargaining agreement, absolutely take advantage of all those rights, all those freedoms that you debated over and fought over and lost some other rights and gained some other rights in turn of those rights that you've collectively gotten. So absolutely got no problem with this. Just have to come out and bring it on the field, and that's really it. And we've seen the Bucks do it, so there's no reason why every other team can also kind of still work out virtually and still have a great chance of winning the ring. We've seen it done with the Bucks. So the Cleveland Browns are the newest team to kind of forego in-season, in-person, off-season voluntary workouts. All right, and this is really not good. Let's go to some basketball news now. And man, oh man, the Bulls, they're not looking good. They're currently the 10th seed in the East. And now, Zach LaVine of the Bulls is expected to miss, quote, several games after entering the league's health and safety protocols. This is definitely COVID related. Zach LaVine is expected to miss 10 to 14 days, and the Bulls do not have any time to be playing around and losing games. I mean, they just lost the other day, we saw. 4-game losing streak. They are still currently number 10 in the East, and we know the play-in tournament is 7, 8, 9, and 10. If you're, top 10 teams, you have a chance to get into the playoffs this year. But, the Raptors at number 11, only a game back. The Wizards at number 12, only once again a game back from the Bulls here at number 10. So, man, oh man, we were, buying the Bulls for about a week stretch, and then they truly have just let us down. Zach LaVine's going to be out, and I truly don't think anybody's going to be able to make up his kind of point potential there on the floor. I mean, who's going to give us 30 points a game? Nobody. Kobe White can, but we've seen him not to do it a lot of times. Every game he doesn't put up 30 points. So Kobe White's really going to have to kind of step up in place of Zach LaVine. I don't think he's going to be able to do that because he hasn't given us any real great production off the bench. That's why they're 3-7. They're 3-7 in their 10 games after the trade deadline of getting Vucevic, and it's just not a good team. And we wanted it to be a good team. It's not a good team. They're letting us down. 4-game losing streak. Now Zach LaVine's out. They're going to probably miss the play-in tournament, so I think we are going to have to start officially selling our Chicago Bulls stock. Unfortunately, truly unfortunate. Now, the only thing that could happen, I don't think it will happen, but it possibly could happen. We know Vucevic is kind of used to carrying that Magic team by himself. Aaron Gordon, out a lot of times through these last couple of seasons are just kind of not getting that kind of great production with Vucevic on the floor. So maybe Vucevic can get a couple of wins here when Zach LaVine's out, but I just truly don't see any real big step up there from any of those bench players for this Bulls team to really kind of make up for the lack of production that's not going to be on the floor anymore. Since Zach LaVine's not on the floor anymore, I don't really see anybody picking up the slack of production like that. So truly, truly unfortunate. It was a good week of like believing in the Bulls. I had fun doing it, and it was fun watching them, but no Zach LaVine, no number 10. no number 10 in the East, I can guarantee it. So not great here for the Bulls. Truly unfortunate. Alrighty, but let's go to some good players news. We just lost a player, but we're getting a player back soon. Frank Vogel says Anthony Davis has been cleared for full on-court activities. He says it's unlikely AD plays in the two upcoming Utah games on Saturday and Monday, but not out of the question. And then he goes on to say that when he kind of gets back in, whatever game he kind of comes back on, he's going to be on a little bit of a minutes restriction, not going to play kind of the 30-plus minutes that, he usually plays out on the floor. They're going to start him at probably 15 minutes and then build up from there. So, that's classic, bringing in a player to a game kind of environment, game speed, game conditioning, all of that. So it takes a couple of games to get back into that rhythm, back into that game playing shape. Anthony Davis is no different here, but that's exactly what the Lakers need. Definitely need Anthony Davis, another kind of piece here. Now, the backup squad here for the Lakers have kind of done decent in the huge absence of LeBron James and Anthony Davis for a huge stretch. They were about the 3rd seed in the West when everybody went down, and they only dropped down to the 5 seed here. Still 3 games above the 6 seed. Still only a game and a half back of the 4 seed, so there is still some movement potential here for the Lakers, especially since the Nuggets just lost Jamal Murray. Now the Lakers are starting to get a little bit more healthier, a little bit more right. So, looking at probably a 4-5 seed here for the Lakers. Can they get up to the 3rd? Probably not. They're 4.5 games back from that 3rd seed with the Clippers. Don't really see them kind of flip-flopping. But it's just great to kind of get Anthony Davis acclimated him, getting him kind of right just in time for the playoffs, and that's what the Lakers only care about. That's what LeBron James only cared about, is what you're doing in the playoffs. So Lakers getting right, getting healthy at the right time, and now just need some word on LeBron James, and we'll be all set for this Lakers team. But definitely still want to shout out the kind of backups of the Lakers, still kind of being decent in that kind of absence of LeBron James and Anthony Davis, still being kind of competitive against some of the decent teams in this league. So got to give out some praise for them for doing that without their main players out there. But Anthony Davis is going to probably be back Wednesday, Thursday, whatever their next game is after that Monday with the Jazz. So we'll see what happens. But definitely, I know Lakers fans are rejoicing everywhere. I was rejoicing everywhere to see this Lakers team be back pretty good. I'm about it. Alrighty, those were all the stories that we needed to cover for today, so let's head over to the NBA. Only 4 games on last night, so we can kind of run through those quickly. Then we'll head over to our moneymaker for tonight's action. Then we'll do our power rankings in the NBA, and then we'll head over to our NFL draft prospect of the day, looking at Cade Johnson, wide receiver from South Dakota State. So let's just get right into it, and here we go. The 4 games on from last night. We had a 3-team moneymaker going. We hit 1 of 3 officially. Basically 3 of 3 unofficially, but we'll talk about it when we get there. The first game up, the Bucks and the Hawks. Bucks -4. That was easy money. That was the game that we officially hit from last night. Bucks -4. They win by 11. Easy peasy there. Once again, exactly what we thought would happen. I mean, this Hawks team isn't ready to kind of compete with the biggest, best teams in this league right now. The Bucks, the Clippers, the Suns, the Jazz, the Nets. Really can't see this Hawks team really beating any of them. Now, they played decently well against this Bucks team. They were kind of always trailing in this game, kind of decently big, but then they would have a nice run that would cut the deficit down to like 4, 3, 2 points, but then the Bucks would just go and open it right back up to another big lead, and the Hawks just couldn't really overcome it. So let's start here with the Bucks. Giannis's first game back, 15 points, 2 assists, 5 rebounds, a little bit of a lackluster night, but there was great production from literally everybody on this Bucks team, which makes it an even better team. If everybody's splitting production, it's not just one person getting it all, and y'all are just kind of fighting over scraps like the Wizards do on a consistent basis. This is the team that I want to see. So very well done to everybody out here. Drew Holiday led the team in scoring, 23 points, 7 assists, 4 rebounds on 52% shooting. Brian Forbes in the starting lineup in lieu of Dante DiVincenzo, who didn't play. So Brian Forbes at the shooting guard position, 9 points, 1 assist, 1 rebound. He shot 1 of 6 from 3, not very good, but overall decent performance, getting into the starting lineup for, in lieu of another player. So not too bad out there by Brian Forbes. Everybody else picks up the slacks, which is exactly what you need. Brook Lopez gave 19 points, 12 rebounds, 3 of 6 from 3, an absolutely magnificent game from him. And then Chris Middleton to round out the starters, 10 points, 7 assists, 9 rebounds. He didn't shoot well, 2 of 7 from 3 and 28% overall, but we'll take the 10 points, 9 rebounds, 7 assists, getting it done in really every facet of the game. And then it comes down to their bench, who absolutely, this may have been one of their best performances off the bench all season long. Bobby Portis, 11 points, 7 rebounds. Pat Connaughton, 14 points, 8 rebounds. And then Jeff Teague, 11 points, 5 assists, 2 rebounds. And we can now even shout out PJ Tucker, who once again was in the game, in the bench rotation. 8 points, 3 rebounds in 16 minutes, so plus 12. So the bench really got it all done here for the Bucks. And they were able to get the win because of that. And once again, why we don't really trust this Hawks team too much. Yes, we like this starting lineup. We love Trae Young. We love Clint Capella. We love Bogdanovic, who's been going absolutely insane over these last couple of games. And he went insane last night as well. But they've really got no bench. Yes, Lou Williams is out there, but he didn't even have a good game last night. So Lou Williams has to be kind of what Jordan Clarkson is to that Jazz team. We kind of need, 15 to 19 points. Honestly, like 19 19. That's what Jordan Clarkson does. We need kind of like 19 plus points by Lou Williams every single night off the bench, and we really haven't gotten that once. We haven't really even gotten that once here for Lou Williams. So let's talk about this Hawks team now. Trae Young, 15 points, 9 assists, 0 of 3 from 3, and 17% from the field on 17 shots. So he really floundered here against this Bucks team. Bogdanovich led the team in scoring. What a surprise. 28 points, 7 assists, 6 rebounds, 6 of 12 from 3. Absolutely magnificent. Clint Capella gave us 16 points, 16 rebounds, 6 of those rebounds offensive. Wonderful work. Solomon Hill, 18 points, 5 rebounds. And Kevin Huerter, 16 points, 4 assists, 6 rebounds on 63% shooting. So overall, the starters kind of all got it done, but this bench, this lackluster bench from the Hawks really killed them last night. Nathan Knight, only 2 points on 0 of 5 shooting. Lou Williams, 6 points on 28% shooting. Onyeka Okongwu, he had 8 points on 100% shooting, but once again, it's only 8 points. It's the highest score off the bench, and that's Onyeka Okongwu. That's not going to get it done. It's got to be Lou Williams out there. It's got to be. And they didn't even have Danilo Gallinari, so once again, kind of another lackluster bench performance now. You can kind of decently count on Danilo Gallinari to get us those 10-plus points. We've seen him do it. We've seen him give us the 20, so just unfortunate there for the Hawks. They didn't have the bench to compete with the Bucks last night. We chose that. We saw that. We bet it. We won it. Fantastic work for the Bucks, winning last night 120-109 over the Hawks. Alrighty, let's go to the Warriors and the Cavs now. Warriors, another blowout win, and man, oh man, we are going to talk about it when we get to our power rankings, but Steph Curry getting it done, just blowing out teams. 20, 30, 40-point wins out here over the last kind of 2 weeks, so respect the heck out of Steph Curry. He's making his case for MVP. He's starting to win games a lot more consistently, so we'll see if they kind of break the top 10 in our power rankings, and we'll kind of see if he can kind of stay on track for that MVP. We told you he has to kind of finish top 6 in the West while continuing to get a lot of points here of how we kind of rank performances. So he still has a path to the MVP. Still winning games, absolutely love it, and that kind of did not change last night. Warriors get another win here. No Kelly Oubre Jr. once again for the Warriors in another win. I truly don't think it's a coincidence, folks. So here we go. Steph Curry. Well, let's talk about the lineup a little bit because there was a little bit of a shake-up lineup, and it kind of worked out real well here. So Steph Curry at the 1. Andrew Wiggins slides over to the 2. Kent Bazemore goes to the 3. Draymond Green still at the 4, and Kevon Looney still at the 5. So Andrew Wiggins at the 2 had a magnificent night. 23 points, 6 assists, 6 rebounds, 5 of 8 from 3, 56% overall from the field. That's better than what he did at the 3 all season long. So we'll see, man. Maybe this is the new starting lineup. Maybe have Kelly Oubre Jr. come off the bench. I think that would be fantastic. So we'll see what happens here. We'll see. I'm blanking on the head coach's name for the Warriors. Damn it. We'll see what he does here when Kelly Oubre Jr. kind of gets back right and gets back healthy to kind of see if this kind of rotation of this starting lineup will be the same. But I kind of like it. I don't think it's a coincidence that, Kelly Oubre Jr. has been out 3-4 games and the Warriors have won their last 3-4 games. So Steph Curry's obviously a huge reason why they're winning these games. 33 points last night, 5 assists, 4 rebounds, 4 of 13 from 3. Not the greatest, but he gave us a 33 points. We'll absolutely take that. Kevon Looney, 8 points, 10 rebounds. Draymond Green, 5 points, 8 assists, 10 rebounds, 3 steals, 2 blocks. A classic game by Draymond Green, just doing it all out there. And then Kent Bazemore at the starting 3 to round out the starters. 5 points, 3 assists, and 4 rebounds on 50% shooting. So just getting it done on the defensive end of the ball. But then look at this, some actually good production here off the bench. Damian Lee, who we've always kind of been talking about on this team off the bench, 11 points, 5 rebounds. We'll take that. Juan Toscano Anderson, another great game out here. This is like his second good game of the entire season. 20 points, 7 rebounds, 3 assists on 88% shooting. Just missed 1 3. That was his only miss. Fantastic. And then Jordan Poole still getting it done. 14 points, 4 assists, and 3 steals off the bench. So very well done by Andrew Wiggins stepping it up. I absolutely respect the heck out of that man. Steph Curry doing what Steph Curry does, and a real great bench performance here to get a win over this Cavs team. So very well done for the Warriors. Now let's talk about this Cavs team very quickly. Darius Garland, Colin Sexton, all back healthy in the starting lineup, doing what they do every single game. Darius Garland, 20 points, 7 assists, 4 rebounds. Colin Sexton, 30 points, 2 assists, 4 rebounds. And then Jared Allen, 17 points, 14 rebounds. So the big three of this Cavs team of Garland, Sexton, and Allen all getting it done. But then nobody steps up. Once again, what we know of this Cavs team, once their kind of big three is in this lineup, they can't get any solid production from anybody else. Kevin Love had 5 points on 20% shooting. Absolutely not good. Isaac Okoro had 6 points on 37% shooting. Nothing great off the bench. They had Teron Prince, who put up 12 points and 2 rebounds. I'll give him that. But then the second leading scorer off the bench was Larry Nance Jr. with 3 points and Dean Wade with 3 points. So nothing great off this bench. Nothing great from outside of the big three of Darius Garland, Colin Sexton, Jared Allen. Nobody else is able to get it done for this Cavs team. So another unfortunate loss here for the Cavs, but man, oh man, this Warriors team getting good at the right time. I'm all about it. Took them a while to figure it out, and they've really never looked back ever since Steph Curry's really been going wild out here. So Warriors get the win 119-101. Alrighty, let's go to the Celtics and the Lakers now. And man, oh man, am I impressed with the Celtics team. Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, absolutely getting it done on a nightly basis, and that's what the Celtics team needs to do. So shout out to the Celtics team. We'll talk about them in our power rankings as well, but man, oh man, super impressed with the Celtics team has done over the last 2 weeks. So here we go. We did take the Lakers +6 last night, and they lose by 8, unfortunately. Who didn't play for this game? No Andre Drummond for the Lakers, unfortunately. If Andre Drummond plays, they probably cover the spread, possibly win as well. Unfortunate, just lost there slightly. So let's start here with the Celtics and start here with freaking Jaylen Brown, folks. 40 points, 9 rebounds, 3 assists on 85% shooting on 20 shots. Really just an absolutely magnificent performance here by Jaylen Brown. Usually we've been kind of counting on Jason Tatum heavily over these last kind of 3-4 games, but this time Jaylen Brown says, hey, Jason Tatum, why don't you take the night off? I got it. I can take over from here. And Jason Tatum says, I know you can, and go out and get it done, my son. So he did exactly just that. So very well done by Jaylen Brown last night. A +36 on the floor. The second highest plus-minus for this Celtics team was, who do we got? Luke Kennard, +17. So very, very well done by Jaylen Brown last night. Jason Tatum adds 14 points, 5 assists, 5 rebounds. Tristan Thompson at the starting 5 because Greg Williams was out last night, unfortunately. So Tristan Thompson at the starting 5, 14 points, 5 assists, 6 rebounds on 75% shooting. Pretty good night out there by that man. Marcus Smart had a good night, 15 points, 4 assists, 6 rebounds, 3 of 6 from 3. And Kemba Walker, 12 points, 7 assists, 2 rebounds, only taking 3 threes. That's what I like to see by this man. So overall, they got some nice, great looks out there. The Lakers defense really couldn't get it done. They kind of, were, behind all throughout the entire game. They had a nice run in the fourth quarter to make the lead a little bit closer, made it a little bit of a game, but the collectiveness of the Celtics were able to kind of quiet that run a little bit. All right, let's talk about the bench of the Celtics. No Evan Fournier still, but look at this. Peyton Pritchard gets it done off the bench. 15.7 rebounds, 3 assists in 19 minutes. Absolutely very well done. No other kind of meaningful kind of scoring productions here from the bench, but they all collectively got it done defensively. So very well done for this Celtics team. The starters get it done. Don't really have to rely too much on the bench, and that's exactly what they like. So very well done for the Celtics. Another huge win without Evan Fournier and really no good bench. So all right, let's talk about the Lakers now, who did not step up in this game. There's, I really thought the Lakers, had the ability to win this game, even without, LeBron James and Anthony Davis, but they didn't. Truly a little bit of a letdown here, so let's see why. Dennis Schroeder, only 8 points. He did have 8 assists, but, 37% from the field, 1 of 2 from 3, nothing truly great out there. Scoring needs to come from somebody, folks. When there's no Anthony Davis, no LeBron James, somebody has to go out there and have some good point production. And Dennis Schroeder is a little bit of a hit and miss out there. KCP's a definite big miss out there. 2 points on 14% shooting. Marc Gasol had 18 points, 4 rebounds. Kyle Kuzma only had 13 points on 35% shooting. Once again, he could have stepped it up a little bit more. He doesn't. He had like one good game of stepping up, and then he kind of, had a nice little comment, and then he's been ghosted ever since. Wesley Matthews, once again, he ghosted as well. 3 points on 14% shooting. So just the big shooters that needed to get it done didn't. I mean, collectively between Dennis Schroeder, KCP, and Kyle Kuzma, we're getting 23 points. That's not going to get it done. Off the bench, some real nice performances here. That's why they kept it close, because of their bench, because we know we can't rely on consistently Dennis Schroeder and Kyle Kuzma, but we can rely on Taylor Horton-Tucker off the bench. 19 points, 3 steals, 7 assists, 6 rebounds, a wonderful night. Montrezl Harrell, 12 points, 8 rebounds, 3 assists. Ben McLemore getting it done, 17 points, 2 assists, 3 rebounds. And then Alfonso McKinney, 10 points, 2 rebounds. So, man, oh man, if Dennis Schroeder or Kyle Kuzma or KCP just had a better night, they would have won this game easily. So, once again, Kyle Kuzma, Dennis Schroeder, man, come on. Gotta step it up a little bit more here. I mean, you're the number 3, you're the number 4 option with a full kind of healthy Lakers roster. But once, Anthony Davis, LeBron James are out, Kyle Kuzma, Dennis Schroeder kind of go up to the number 1 and number 2 scoring spots on this team, and they don't go and get it done. So truly disappointing bit the Lakers last night that they lost and didn't cover the 6, making us look foolish out here. So an unfortunate loss by the Lakers, but truly an impressive win by the Celtics. Truly impressed with the Celtics team. Absolutely love it. All right, and then the last game of the night, the Kings and the Suns. And we took this one just to kind of beef up our moneymaker. We swallowed the 12.5 there by the Suns. They only win by 8, 122-114, so just missed this one as well, unfortunately. But let's talk about this one really quickly. Given win, I mean, this was a no-brainer win for the Suns here. So here we go, the Suns. Chris Paul, 13 points, 11 assists on 50% shooting from the field. Devin Booker, 23 points, 4 assists, 3 rebounds. DeAndre Ayton, 26 points, 11 rebounds, getting it done last night. Leading scorer for the squad, and that's kind of, a no-brainer without their main starting their main starting center of Raquan Holmes out there for the Kings. Jay Crowder put up 5 points and 7 rebounds on only 5 shots. And then McCall Bridges putting up 13 points, 2 steals, 2 assists, 3 rebounds, getting it done. So once again, a great night by the starters. Some real solid contributions all throughout for the bench. Cameron Payne putting up 8 points, 4 assists in only 18 minutes. Cameron Johnson putting up 6 points, 3 assists, 2 rebounds. Dario Saric putting up 8 points, 4 rebounds in 12 minutes. Torrey Craig even putting up 7 points, 2 rebounds in 15 minutes. And then Javon Carter led the team double digits here off the bench, 13 points in 16 minutes. So I'll take that. I'll take all that from the bench. Love what this bench team is kind of doing. This bench squad is doing for the Suns team on a consistent basis now. This is what the Suns team can truly be at their max potential. A fantastic starting lineup, a real good solid bench out here. And definitely got to watch out for the Suns here, man. They are going to get it done. All right, let's go to the Kings now. What happened here? But De'Aaron Fox doing what he does, 27 points, 8 assists, 3 rebounds on 52% shooting from the field. Buddy Hield, 24 points on 5 of 10 from 3. Fantastic. Damian Jones gets the starting kind of 5 role, but only 5 minutes playing out there. 0 points, 1 rebound. Maurice Harkless, only 3 points, 3 rebounds. And then Harrison Barnes, to round out the starters, 14 points, 3 assists, 2 rebounds. Now for the bench here for the Kings, they had some nice production out here. Hassan Whiteside, being kind of the main center out there, 11 points, 10 rebounds, getting it done. Tyrese Halliburton, the rookie, 12 points and 2 steals, 1 rebound, 1 assist off the bench. And then Delon Wright, 16 points, 4 assists, 4 rebounds in 27 minutes. So overall, a decent night here by the Kings. The defense suffers, giving up 122 points. Classic Kings team, and just not all throughout good. We see some players with 3 points, 0 points with kind of hefty minutes out there. So unfortunate loss there by the Kings, but not expected. Alrighty, that was the NBA from last night. So let's head over to what's on deck for tonight's action and find the moneymaker, find the value for tonight's games. Alrighty, we get a 3 o'clock game here. Pacers Jazz. Then we get Thunder Pistons at 7 o'clock. Ooh, nationally televised primetime game. 76ers and the Clippers, 7 o'clock on ESPN. That should be a real good one. Then we get Pelicans, Wizards, Hornets, Nets, Magic, Raptors, Grizzlies, Bulls, Nuggets, Rockets, Heat, Timberwolves, Blazers, Spurs, and then a nightcap game, nationally televised game, Knicks, Mavericks, 9:30 on ESPN as well. So not a bad doubleheader here. Mavericks, Knicks should be a pretty good one. 76ers, Clippers will probably be better. Alrighty. But let's refresh our lines here. Let's see what we get. Let's find the value for tonight's action. Let's get a moneymaker going. Let's hit one right. All teams, all hitters. Let's see what we can get. Alrighty, the first game up here. Pacers, Jazz. Pacers plus 10. Jazz minus 10. Alrighty, for the Pacers, Doug McDermott's a game-time decision, and Miles Turner's a game-time decision, so we'll see if it's his first game back. And then for the Jazz, Derek Favors a game-time decision, and Jordan Clarkson's a game-time decision. Alrighty, a little bit of a wonky start time here at 3 o'clock. The Jazz just on a little lone one-game winning streak. They did end up losing against the Wizards. That's kind of why their winning streak kind of got snapped. They were working on like a 4-game winning streak up until that point. So this one's going to be a little interesting here. Once again, can't really trust this kind of Pacers team against the kind of top elite teams. The Pacers plus 10 is still looking a little kind of appetizing, though. I think they do kind of keep it a little close. If we knew kind of Miles Turner was 100% playing, we would probably take the Pacers plus 10 just because, Miles Turner and Rudy Gobert decently match up well together just because, they're both good defensive bigs down there. But moving Sabonis over to the 5, definitely going to hurt them a little bit more. Rudy Gobert has a lot more opportunity to kind of lock them up in the scoring department. So we're going to stay away from this one. A little bit too big of a spread for us, and we can't really trust the Pacers too much. So we'll stay away from Pacers and Jazz. And plus the Jazz have been up. Their last game they played was Tuesday. I mean, they've had a pretty good couple solid days off where the Pacers just played Wednesday. So Jazz an extra day of rest over the Pacers. We'll stay away from this one. Alrighty, next game up, Clippers, 76ers. Clippers plus 3, 76ers minus 3. Interesting here. Let's see if everybody's good to go for this Clippers team. Patrick Beverley's out, we know that. Serge Ibaka's out. Kawhi Leonard's a game-time decision. Come on, Kawhi, you have to play. This is against the 76ers. And then for the 76ers, Dwight Howard's a game-time decision, and Tobias Harris is a game-time decision. So, can we get any information here on Kawhi Leonard? If we get him solid being in, I'm taking the 3 there for the Clippers. They always step it up against the big teams. They never really flounder in those big games. Paul George has really stepped it up without Kawhi Leonard. Reggie Jackson has been absolutely unbelievable at the starting point guard position ever since kind of Patrick Beverley has been out for, the long time. Damn, I'm assuming Kawhi is going to play. I mean, how do you not play against the 76ers? This is a huge game. We're going to assume he's going to play, folks. I think he's going to play. He's taken the last couple of games off. Paul George has been getting it done by himself out there. We're going to take the 3 here for the Clippers on the road. The Clippers always get it done against the best teams. I don't think it's any different here against the 76ers. So, Clippers plus 3, absolutely love it. All right, then we get the Pelicans and the Wizards. Pelicans minus 2.5, Wizards plus 2.5 already. A little interesting here. Let's see who's in and out here for the Pelicans. Josh Hart is out and Nickeil Alexander-Walker is out. What do we just hear about Lonzo? Lonzo said he'll play, so Lonzo's all good. And then for the Wizards, just Thomas Bryant's out for the season, which we've already known. So we get minus 2.5 here for the Pelicans. Yeah, I'll take that. I can't trust this Wizards team, especially down low. I mean, who's going to stop Zion Williamson, Brandon Ingram, and even Steven Adams? Who's going to stop him down low? Alex Len? Good luck. Good luck. One person keeping, locking down 3 big players down low. Bradley Beal and Russell Westbrook may be able to kind of contain the guards of Eric Bledsoe and Lonzo Ball for the Pelicans, but that's not where their main production comes from offensively anyway. So the Pelicans are going to be eating all day down low. Wizards have nothing to stop it. We'll take the Pelicans minus 2.5. That's easy money there. I think that might be one of the best values I've seen in a while. Truly. Pelicans minus 2.5. Yes, sir. With Lonzo's first game back, yes, sir. We'll take that all day. Give it to us. Pelicans minus 2.5. Absolutely love it. Alrighty, let's keep going on here. Hitting a little bit of a streak here. Taking the last 2 games we've been talking about. So let's keep it up here. Thunder, Pistons. Thunder +3, Pistons -3. Alrighty. Is Shai Gilgeous-Alexander finally back for this Thunder team? Let's see. He's not. No, darn it. Mike Muscala is still out. Alexev Puko-Savetsky is still out. And Josh Hall is still out. And then for the Pistons, Mason Plumlee's out, Rodney McGruder's out, Wayne Ellington's out, Corey Joseph is out, Jeremy Grant is out, Dennis Smith is out. So way too many kind of outs here for both of these squads. 2 really not good teams, and we'll stay away from this one. No real great value either way. Then we get the Hornets and the Nets. Whoa. Let's see. Here we go. Hornets +12.5. Nets -12.5. Let's see. Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant good to go together. For the Hornets, Brad Wanamaker's a game time decision. Devontae Graham's out. We have to stay away from this now. Another big player out for them. And then P.J. Washington's a game-time decision. So they're going to be losing one of their guards. Definitely going to struggle to score out here tonight. And then for the Nets, just James Harden is out, Tyler Johnson is out, and Chris Chiozza is out. So Kevin Durant, Kyrie, both playing. We'll stay away from it. They should have no problem covering. But this Hornets team, we know they are resilient, and they still are decently competitive. Don't think they will now that Devontae Graham is out, but we'll stay away from that one. All right, then we get the Magic and the Raptors. Magic +2.5, Raptors -2.5. All righty. Let's see what we get here for the Magic. Otto Porter's out, Michael Carter-Williams is out, and Mo Bamba's a game-time decision. For the Raptors, Kyle Lowry's resting. Come on, you have a chance to go and secure that 10th seed now that the Bulls, Zach LaVine is out, and you're resting players. I hate it. Kyle Lowry's out. DeAndre Bembry's is a game-time decision. Pascal Siakam is out with rest as well. I hate that. OG Anunoby is out with rest, and Gary Trent Jr. is a game-time decision. So I absolutely hate that this Raptors team is a little folding right now. You have a chance to go in and try and secure that playing tournament, but Nick Nurse is resting players out here. I hate it. I don't respect it. And so we'll have to stay away from this one. Truly unfortunate, man. Alrighty, let's keep moving on here. We get the Nuggets and the Rockets. Nuggets -8.5. Rockets +8.5. Interesting here. We know Jamal Murray is out for the Nuggets. Truly unfortunate for him. And then for the Rockets, DJ Augustine is out, Eric Gordon is out, Daniel House Jr. is out, Sterling Brown is out, David Waba is out, and Dante Exum is out. So at least we get Kelly Olynyk, we get Christian Wood, and we get John Wall. But gotta see what this Nuggets team can do. They've won their last game. They won their game without Jamal Murray. Having who'd they have that game? Campazzo? No, Monte Morris. They had Monte Morris kind of step up in that game. They ended up getting the win still. So we're going to see how this Nuggets team works without Jamal Murray. They're one game without him. They win. So we'll have to kind of get a little bit more of a sample size to kind of really truly gauge what this Nuggets team can do without Jamal Murray on the floor. Just for the Rockets, though, just absolutely fantastic what they do. I am very tempted to take this Rockets team +8.5. I am going to take this Rockets team +8.5. John Wall just going against Monte Morris. We're going to take that, man. I'm going to bet that this Rockets team keeps it a little bit close here. Love what but they struggle in the fourth quarter. Well, we're going to stay away from it. Yeah, I do kind of really want to see what this Nuggets team can do. Damn. Rockets, man, they've been I think we just got to finally cut off the Rockets, man. We've been trusting them way too much throughout this entire season. I think they probably bit us in the butt more times than any other team. I think that we've been betting this entire season, so we will stay away from Rockets +8.5. It's very tempting. It is very tempting, but let's see what this Nuggets team can do. Like I said, they beat their first game, and they won very convincingly, 123-106 over that Heat team. So we will stay away from Rockets +8.5. Damn it. We're not going to take that. I want to. Trust me, I do. I do really want to take that. All right, let's learn. Let's learn from what the Rockets have done for us in the past. Truly unfortunate. All right, let's keep moving on here. Heat, Timberwolves, Heat -6.5. Timberwolves +6.5. Okay. Is Karl Anthony Towns playing? Because I may take it. Out for the Heat, Victor Oladipo, obviously. Andre Iguodala is a game-time decision. And then for the Timberwolves, Malik Beasley is out, and Jalen Noel is a game-time decision. So Karl Anthony Towns is going to play. We get +6 for them. They did just get blown out by the Bucks badly by 25, but Karl Anthony Towns didn't play that game. So a little interesting here. Heat have been skidding, and once again, they're on the road. So I'm going to take this Timberwolves team plus 6.5 here. I want to see D'Angelo Russell finally get in that starting rotation with Anthony Edwards and Karl Anthony Towns. This could be the game we see him getting more minutes than Ricky Rubio does. So we're going to trust the Timberwolves team here. This is kind of our new Rockets team that we like to kind of bet on a little bit. Timberwolves plus 6.5. Karl Anthony Towns is good to go. Let's kind of ride this train as it is going to start taking off, I'm assuming. Alrighty, next game up, we get Grizzlies and the Bulls. Grizzlies minus 3.5, Bulls plus 3.5 with no Zach LaVine. What are you, nuts? Out for the Grizzlies, we get Tim Frazier, a game-time decision. Brandon Clark, a game-time decision. DeAnthony Melton is out, and Jaren Jackson is out as well, so their bench is going to be a little lackluster. And then for the Bulls, Thomas Sortonsky is a game-time decision, and Zach LaVine is out. Zach LaVine's being out. There's nobody that can pick up the slack scoring-wise for this Bulls team. At least for the Grizzlies, I can still count on their starting roster 1 through 5. Grayson Allen, Valanciunas, everybody on that roster. So I'm going to swallow the 3.5 here for the Grizzlies. I don't think this Bulls team is going to turn it around without Zach LaVine. That would make zero sense in this league. They've lost their last 4 games with Zach LaVine, and nobody steps up. Who's going to step it up, and they're going to win now that Zach LaVine's out? That just would not make any sense. So Grizzlies minus 3, I think it's real great value. Then we get Blazers minus 2, Spurs plus 2.5. Blazers minus 2.5, Spurs plus 2.5. Let's see. Just everybody's going to go for the Blazers besides Zach Collins. And then for the Spurs, everybody's going to go except Trey Lyles is out and Georgie Dieng is a game-time decision. So Blazers minus 2.5. They need to win this game. Need to start getting back on track, man. They just lost against the Celtics by 1 at the buzzer, basically. So Blazers minus 2 is looking good, but we'll stay away from it because we need to see this Blazers team start winning. This is an easy game to go and win against the Spurs. Please beat the Spurs, please. And then the last game of the night, the Knicks and the Mavericks. The Knicks plus 6, the Mavericks minus 6. Out for the Knicks, Alec Burks is out. Nerlens Noel is a game-time decision. For the Mavericks, Tyrell Terry is out. Well, this Knicks team has been keeping games close, winning games close, and also losing games close. I mean, they are on a 4-game win streak, but those other 2 games that they lost the Celtics by 2, and they lost against the Nets by 2. So I'm going to take this Knicks here plus 6. I think they keep it close against this Mavericks team, and we get this Knicks team on a 4-game winning streak, trying to get their playoff positioning a little bit better out here. So we'll take the points here with the Knicks plus 6. So we got a little bit of a moneymaker extravaganza out here, a 5-teamer in our moneymaker. So here we go. Clippers plus 3, Pelicans minus 2.5, Timberwolves plus 6.5, Grizzlies minus 3.5, and the Knicks plus 6. Feeling real good about these 2 today, folks. Loving those. Alrighty, let's head over to our NBA Power Rankings. We update this every Friday, and today is Mother Loving Friday, folks. So, yeah, I mean, we have a huge shakeup in the top 10. We have a new number 1. We have a new number 2. We have 3 new teams here in the top 10. So, absolutely well done by all those teams. Great week in the NBA. So here we go. This was the power rankings coming into this week. Bulls at 10, Hawks at 9, Mavs at 8, Grizzlies at 7, 76ers at 6, Jazz at 5, Suns at 4, Clippers at 3, Nets at 2, and the Nuggets at 1. Alrighty, before we start kind of reordering our new top 10 here, I am going to tell you why we are kicking the teams out of the top 10 here. We have 3 teams coming into the top 10, so we have to kick 3 teams out. So we'll tell you why we're kicking these teams out, and then we'll go and reorder the new top 10. So the first team that we are kicking out is the Bulls. Absolutely. I mean, we gave them one chance. We put them in the top 10 because they went on a 3-game winning streak, looking good, had it all figured out after the trade deadline. We graced them. We blessed them. We put them in our top 10. We showed, hey, we truly believe in this Bulls team. And what do? And to kind of pay us back of us putting them in the top 10, they go 0-4, 4-game losing streak. Zach LaVine is injured, and the COVID-19 protocols for 10 to 14 days as well. So 0-4 this week, absolutely trash. Losing against the Hawks, the Timberwolves, the Grizzlies, the Magic. Come on, these are all the teams you need to start beating if you want a chance to get into the playoffs. The Bulls lost all of those games, truly letting us down. I thought Vucevic and Zach LaVine and Thaddeus Young would work together. That's not getting it done. Thaddeus Young is playing like 14 minutes in the starting rotation. I want that man to come off the bench. Kobe White's not getting it done off the bench. Maybe move Daniel Tyson to that starting rotation as well. But now that Zach LaVine is out, I mean, there's really no hope for this Bulls team. They're currently the 10th seed in the East. Don't think they'll make the play-in tournament when it's all said and done. With Zach LaVine being out to 10 to 14 days, they barely won with Zach LaVine. There's nobody to step up in the presence of Zach LaVine and get that same scoring production and some to not only make up for Zach LaVine, but to also make up for what you would have done off the bench. So you got to do double duty out here. You got to do what you did and what Zach LaVine would do as well. So there's nobody on this Bulls team to step it up. They weren't stepping it up with Zach LaVine in the starting lineup, so they're not going to step it up with him out of the lineup. So truly, Bulls let us down big time. We believed in them for about a week and a half, and it felt real good, but now they're 0-4. So Bulls are no longer in the top 10, and I don't think they'll ever make the top 10 for the rest of the season. Alrighty, the other team we're moving out of the top 10 is the Mavericks. Not really too much of what they've done, just kind of seen some better play by some other teams. The Mavericks are really kind of Luka dependent. If he's not out there, putting up 35, 40 plus points a game, they're not going to win. If he's not out there hitting buzzer beaters, they're not going to win. I mean, Luka is really just the only great player on this team, and he's absolutely fantastic. Do not get us wrong, but this last week, they went 1-2. They lost they beat the Grizzlies by Luka Doncic, floating three-pointer that went down. But then they lose against the Spurs and the 76ers. So teams that they need to start beating a little bit more consistently. We had them in our top 10, taking them slowly, but we're still getting no real great production from that bench. Tim Hardaway Jr. has been really floundering these last couple of games here, really letting the team down. He's a huge scorer off that bench for them. And then, it's only Porzingis and Luka Doncic in that starting lineup. Nobody else in that starting lineup gets solid, good production out there, and they're not winning games because of it. So we are going to move the Mavs out of the top 10 as well. We have other teams that are looking a little bit better out here. So got to move them out. And then the last team we're moving out is the Grizzlies. Once again, letting us down. They got 3 games above 500, looking real good, beating some real good teams. But then just this week, they went 1-3. They beat the Bulls. Okay, they're not even a good team anymore. And then they lose against the Knicks, the Pacers, and the Mavs. So really kind of, once again, bad losses. They need to start winning all those games. They blew that game against the Knicks. John Morant had a potential game winner on that shot, but it did not fall. Goes in overtime. They can't get it done in overtime. So Grizzlies, man, they go on these spurs of just good runs and looking all good, but then they're back to 500. It's literally what the Grizzlies do. They'll get a game above 500, maybe 2 games above 500, then they'll be back at 500, a game below 500, then back at 500, a game above, back, below, above. I mean, folks, that's what the Grizzlies do all season. We've fallen for it time and time again, but we're ready to nip it in the bud a little bit here. Grizzlies are out of the top 10. So say goodbye to the Bulls, say goodbye to the Mavericks, say goodbye to the Grizzlies. They can get back in the top 10 next week, but for right now, we got 3 new teams to introduce. So let's start ordering our new top 10 here and talking about the power rankings. So here we go, the new power rankings, the new top 10 in the NBA. Let's start here at number 10, and I'm giving them a little bit of a second chance here, a little bit of a benefit of the doubt. The Hawks, we moved them down from 9 to 10. This last week, the Hawks went 3-1. They beat the Bulls, the Hornets, and the Raptors. Is that the Raptors? What is that? That looks like the Raptors. They beat 3 teams. I think I wrote those down right. I can't even read my own handwriting. Truly unfortunate. But they beat the Bulls, the Hornets, and I think that's the Raptors. Yeah, we'll call that the Raptors. But then they lost against They lost against the the Bucks. They just lost against the Bucks last night. My apologies. We knew they weren't going to be the Bucks. We just chose the Bucks -4 last night. A hit, fantastic for us. But I don't want to take the Hawks out of the top 10 just quite yet. They're still a very, very good team. They're just not ready to beat like any of these top 9 teams. So they're still very good. I want to give them another week here in the top 10. Don't really want to move them out just quite yet because they are still good against kind of the average to below average teams, which is obviously good. That's how you get better. But at some point we need to start to see you beat the better teams a little bit more consistently. And they were decently competitive in that Bucks game, so that's why we're not truly taking them out of the top 10 just quite yet. We'll move them back a spot. We'll see what they do this week, and then if we have to move them out for next week, we will. But I want to give them one more chance here. Bogdanovich is going absolutely out of his mind. Lou Williams still has to get a little bit better off the bench, but overall they still can kind of hang with some of these better teams. So we'll leave them at 10, but they got to start to step it up and need to start to see them start winning some of these upper echelon games that they need to start winning. So Hawks at 10, we'll give them one more week here. Alrighty, new number 9 team, and this is a new team here in the top 10, and we're going to give it to the Warriors, man. Steph Curry's making an MVP case. He's doing it all himself, and we're going to kind of respect this team with a power rankings nod. We did end up moving them to 9 over the Hawks because, this is kind of the last chance for the Hawks here. I do kind of want to emphasize that. I have to see the Hawks start beating some of these better teams. I mean, the Warriors just went out and beat the Nuggets. That was their best win of the week. Absolutely fantastic. They ended up going 4-0 this week. They beat, where are we at? They beat the Rockets, the Nuggets, the Thunder, and the Cavs. Just absolutely great. Oh, they did lose against the Wizards this week. That was the Friday game. So they did lose against the Wizards. Buzzer beater once again, kind of beating them. But all 4 of these wins against the Rockets, the Nuggets, the Thunder, the Cavs, all kind of blowouts. All kind of like 10+ point wins. I think they even won by 30 against the Thunder that game, where Steph Curry just went absolutely crazy. Didn't even play in the fourth quarter. So Warriors are getting it done. This 9th seed was really between the Knicks and the Warriors. They really kind of are on both 4-game winning streaks, but the main difference that I saw between the Knicks and the Warriors this week was the Warriors blowing out teams. The Knicks just kind of winning closely, and that's still fine. Don't get us wrong, that's fine. And they even lost closely as well. Like I said, the Knicks are on a 4-game winning streak, but their last 2 games before that winning streak, they lost by 2 against the Celtics, and they lost by 2 against the Nets. So they're just close in all their games they play, which I can truly respect. But this Warriors team is starting to hit their stride, starting to blow out teams. I think I'm going to value that a little bit more than over the Knicks this week. But maybe the Knicks at maybe 11 outside looking in. But back to this Warriors team, Steph Curry getting it done, actually looking a little better without Kelly Oubre Jr. in the lineup. How crazy is that? With Kelly Oubre gone and out of the lineup injured, they're 4-0, folks. I mean, Steph Curry's getting it done. Andrew Wiggins is stepping it up. I mean, literally everybody's having some nice performances without Kelly Oubre in the starting lineup. So I don't know, maybe that's hurting the team, but Steph Curry is getting it done single-handedly. Like I said, they just beat the Nuggets, and Jamal Murray still was in the game. He didn't get injured till like the last minute of the fourth quarter, so that's not an excuse why the Nuggets lost. The Warriors went out there and beat them. That's what Steph Curry can do on a nightly basis. With the Warriors, I know they always rise to the occasion with whichever team they play, the best team, the worst team, they always rise up to the occasion because Steph Curry's that great of a freaking player. So I'm respecting the Warriors. I'm respecting Steph Curry. We're talking about Steph Curry in our MVP discussion now, and I'm going to praise the Warriors with the 9th seed this week. Alrighty, new number 18 now, and we got to put the Bucks. Alrighty, real nice week this week. Bucks going. What do they do this week? They beat the Magic, the Timberwolves, and the Hawks just last night, and then they ended up losing to the Hornets, unfortunately. But, Giannis hasn't played in the last 6 games, and they've been winning kind of solidly, consistently without Giannis, so that's great. We want to see what you can do, what your team can do without having its best player. I mean, Kyrie Irving all by himself can't win games. He just can't do it by himself for some reason. He's the only superstar that gets a free pass out there of not single-handedly carrying a team. I mean, do you think Kyrie Irving could do what Steph Curry's doing for this Warriors team, of the lack of talent on this Warriors team? Do you think Kyrie Irving could kind of elevate their play like Steph Curry does while also dropping 40 plus a game? I don't see it, man. So Bucks here. At number 8, they just got Giannis back last night, and that's why they were able to beat the Hawks. But they're kind of B squad without Giannis. They are still kind of competitive in games, and they've shown us that they've won games. I mean, like I said, they went 4-1 this week, or 3-1 this week. So absolutely fantastic here by the Bucks. All back on. The bench is starting to get a little bit more consistent out here. Let's go to the bench really quickly. Bobby Portis, PJ Tucker's finally back as well. Him and Giannis have been missing a lot of games over the past kind of week and a half. Jeff Teague stepping it up. So very, very well done out here. Chris Middleton and Drew Holiday have both really been stepping it up in absence of Giannis, but now that Giannis is back, they're kind of fitting right back into the roles of what they need to do to win. So gotta respect this Bucks team a little bit more now. Great week by them, and we move them at number 8. Alrighty, new number 7 team now, and this one is just unfortunate here. We got to drop them down a little bit. They were, did we drop them down that big? Oof, we did. Damn, I didn't think I dropped them down that big. Yeah, damn, all right. Alrighty. Here we go. The number 1 team, folks. It has fallen. It has fallen. The number 1 team going into this week, the Nuggets. We now drop them down to number 7. Truly, truly, truly unfortunate is what happened this kind of past week ever since Jamal Murray went down. Now, Jamal Murray did go down against the Warriors. They did get kind of blown out by the Warriors a little bit. Not really great there. But once Jamal Murray went down, Monte Morris steps up, and then they faced the Heat. They ended up winning the game and kind of won it really nicely. I think they won it by like 15 or more points. So that was a real great look. Over the last kind of, week, they beat the Spurs and the Heat, lost against the Celtics and the Warriors. Really not great losses here. Losing both of those games with Jamal Murray in the starting lineup. Really not great there. Now losing Jamal Murray. Now their bench gets a little bit less deep. And we know that was kind of the big knock that we had on this Nuggets team. We really can't rely on the bench too much for scoring. We don't really have that many scorers out there. We know they're kind of in talks of possibly getting Austin Rivers, who would definitely help this team a lot, whether he goes and gets the starting role over Monte Morris or just comes off the bench and provides that kind of spark that they definitely are going to need off the bench. But gonna have to drop this Nuggets team down a little bit, just because of who else we're putting in the top 10 now. And, losing Jamal Murray, I have to see them kind of take this week and see what they can do. Like I said, they won their first game without him. That's fantastic. That's absolutely great. Jokic is still getting it done. Michael Porter Jr. is still getting it done. Aaron Gordon is probably going to start elevating his role a little bit, because we've seen when Aaron Gordon and Jamal Murray both in the starting lineup of their kind of stacked roster of, Aaron Gordon, Michael Porter Jr., Jokic, and Jamal Murray. Aaron Gordon was the one that was always getting like the least amount of points, just at that 4 spot, just kind of being good defensively, not taking a lot of shots, not scoring a lot of points, just kind of facilitating the floor a little bit, and still kind of, getting great defensive production out of it. But we are going to have to move this Nuggets team back a little bit. Can they survive without Jamal Murray? Jamal Murray was clutch. He was a great facilitator on the floor. We saw Monte Morris step it up against the Heat, but the Heat team has been kind of struggling a little bit. So we'll see what the Nuggets can do. Have to move them back a little bit just of how well other teams have been progressing. So truly, truly unfortunate. They had a good week at number 1. Unfortunately, it comes to a little bit of a screaming halt here. We had to drop them down to number 7. Alrighty, new number 6 team, and man, oh man, finally getting it done. Absolutely no bench over this last week, and they still are just 5-0, getting it done. So well done. Number 6 is the Boston Celtics. Absolutely magnificent. Jason Tatum is putting the team on his back. We just saw Jaylen Brown put the team on his back last night, getting 40 points. Absolutely fantastic. Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum are an absolutely fearsome duo, folks. They are a true elite duo in this league. You must respect what Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown can do on a nightly basis for the Celtics team. Now, Evan Fournier has been out this entire week, and they're still winning games without the bench. The starters are getting it done all by themselves out there, and I'm absolutely super impressed with that. So, over the last week, they beat the Timberwolves, they beat the Nuggets with Jamal Murray healthy, they beat the Blazers, they beat the Lakers. So, really good wins, good solid wins, especially not having Evan Fournier returning off the bench because of the COVID-19 protocols. Tristan Thompson and Greg Williams have been kind of, in and out, inconsistent, but whoever's out there in the starting lineup is getting it done. Great production at that starting five. Kemba Walker's getting it done. Marcus Smart's getting it done. They've got absolutely a garbage bench. They have the worst bench of the top 10 here, folks. They truly do. But they are now winning games consistently because Jason Tatum over these last 2 weeks has gone beast mode. He's flipped the switch. He's been a little lackluster throughout the entire season, but now he's starting to step it up, trying to get better playoff positioning here, are they now in the top 6 now? Because I know they were kind of rivaling like 8 a little bit. Now they're 5. Now they're the 5th seed. So very, very, very well done for the Celtics team. Truly impressive over the last 2 weeks. So we got to kind of honor them by moving them up to number 6. And we also have to move them over the Nuggets since they won the head-to-head with Jamal Murray. So that's why we had to drop the Nuggets down a little bit lower than maybe we wanted to a little bit. All right, so Celtics at 6, super impressive, and I hope they don't flounder. I hope they continue to impress me because I'll keep moving them up. I have no problem moving the Celtics into the top 5, honestly. All right, talking about top 5, let's get to number 5 here. This team dropping back a little bit. Yeah, number 1 dropping from number 1, the Nuggets, to number 7. And number 2, the Nets, dropping from 2 to 5 here. We're putting the Nets at number 5. All righty, a little bit of inconsistencies here in the starting lineup over the last week. Kevin Durant in, Kevin Durant out, Kyrie Irving in, Kyrie Irving out. So over the last week, they went 1-2, nothing great. They beat the Timberwolves. Congrats. And then they lose against the Lakers and the 76ers, and that Lakers win is truly inexcusable. I do not care that Kyrie Irving got tossed midway through the game. They were losing up until that point anyway, so can't really trust Kyrie Irving to kind of be that true leader that this team needs. We see Kevin Durant getting arguments on Twitter every night. We see Kyrie Irving getting into it, not playing, getting thrown out of games, and then not playing, cryptic tweets, all of that, trying to just do too much, just not focusing what's going on the floor, getting ejected, hurting his team, not being that leader, not being that kind of, floor facilitator that this Nets team needs. We see Joe Harris floundering when it's just Kyrie Irving out there, and we never see that with just Kevin Durant on the floor, and we definitely don't see that with just James Harden on the floor. So, why do you hurt Joe Harris's game? Why? We have to start looking at Kyrie Irving a little bit more on that. Yes, he's a great talent, not a great leader, can't lead this Nets team by himself. The inconsistencies here between their chemistry with, everybody just being out like every other game, nothing consistent. So dropping this Nets team back a little bit here. I've got better teams that have better chemistry, that are still getting it done, that went through a little bit of early phase woes a little bit, but, made them more tough, made them better in the long run. Where this Nets team, they're just, in and out and nothing consistent, and nobody's stepping up on a nightly basis besides James Harden, but now he's out for a long period of time, and I really just cannot trust Kyrie Irving out there by himself on this team. So we move the Nets back to number 5. Alrighty, new number 4 team here. Yes, sir. Moving up a little bit here in the top 10. We got the Philadelphia 76ers at number 4. Joel Embiid is back, looking better than ever. Tobias Harris was getting it done without him out there, so fantastic work. But the 76ers over the last week, they went 3-1. They beat the Thunder, the Mavs, and the Nets. And they lost to the... Is that the Pacers? Is that the Pelicans? They lost against the Pelicans. All right, they lost against the Pelicans. So 3-1 this week. Not terrible. The Pelicans lost. Not the greatest. Joel Embiid was in that game. Just truly unfortunate. But all in all, they've got a great starting roster. I can always count on Joel Embiid. I can always count on Tobias Harris. I mean, that man steps it up every single night. You know how we feel about those Harris brothers but not brothers. Joe Harris, Tobias Harris. Super freaking consistent. If there was a 5th man of the year, we would give them both the award this year of just kind of not being a true superstar, but just being consistent night in, night out, getting those 20-plus points every single night, not dependent on who's on and who's not on the floor, getting it done consistently, being that kind of main staple in both of their kind of offenses. We know Joel Embiid has gone through spurts of being out for, not long periods of time, but, short little periods of time, and Tobias Harris steps up. Joe Harris for the Nets, once again, kind of, when he was just playing with James Harden out there, when Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant weren't there, he was getting it done consistently. So shout out to the Harris brothers out there. But the 76ers at number 4, Joel Embiid, he's just looking unstoppable out there. And then him paired with Tobias Harris and Ben Simmons, that core three really gets it done. And then we just have to really rely on Seth Curry or Danny Green. And usually one of those on a nightly basis gives us that good production that we need from three. We haven't really seen them kind of step it up together consistently, unfortunately. But then off the bench, we get Shake Milton, Dwight Howard. I mean, man, oh man, what a potential 6th Man of the Year candidate. I could potentially see that. I mean, he's not playing a lot of minutes off the bench consistently, but when he's out there, you can expect at least 7 rebounds. Doesn't matter what time. 1 minute, he'll get the 7 rebounds. 2 minutes, absolutely. 3, 4, 5, 6, however many minutes he's playing out there, he gets it done. So 76ers back in the top 5 here with Joel Embiid. It's a truly great team overall. Great starting roster, great bench, and they're very, very good out there. So love it. 76ers at number 4. All right, let's go to number 3 here, and we'll move this team up a little bit this week. We'll move up the Jazz to number 3 here. Alrighty, over the last week, they have beaten the Kings and the Thunder, and they lost against the Wizards. So a little bit of a lackluster week, not a really great competition, but they're kind of getting back on track. They're winning without Jordan Clarkson, which kind of tells us a lot. I mean, Jordan Clarkson's giving them like 15 to 19 points off the bench a game. That's huge offensive production, but they're still getting it done without them. Joe Ingles has been a little bit of inconsistent playing over these last couple of games as well, but they just get it done. Rudy Gobert, Donovan Mitchell, Mike Conley, they're all out there on a nightly basis, going out there and getting it done. So Jazz, decent week here, not the best competition, but compared to everybody else on what they're doing, I just see them very, very consistent out here. And now the pressure's on the Jazz because the Suns just last night moved up to one full game back. I thought it was half, but 1 full game back from the Jazz. So the Jazz need to start winning. The pressure's going to be on with them. We'll see if they fold this week under the pressure, because the Suns, they're just waiting. They're just waiting for that one mistake the Jazz to make, man. So we'll see if the Jazz make it, but we'll move the Jazz up to number 3. And then that leaves number 1 and number 2 now, and we were going to put the Suns at number 2. Very, very close to that number 1 spot. Don't get me wrong, but we got to save that number 1 spot for another team out here. But this Suns team, 4-0 this last week. Absolutely magnificent. They beat the Wizards, the Rocket, the Heat, and the Kings. So no really great wins there for the Suns team, but they're just consistent. That starting roster, Chris Paul, Devin Booker, DeAndre Ayton, Jay Crowder can all freaking get it done. Bogdanovich can get it done as well. And then their bench of Cameron Payne, Cameron Johnson, Dario Saric. I mean, that gives us all 10 plus points almost every single night. We can always rely on them, especially this last week. The bench has been going absolutely manic. Just last night, right? Last night they had a real great showing. Decent showing, not their best showing. Their other game against who was it? Damn it, I'm blanking on it. But there was a game. There's been, like, over this last week of their 4-game win streak, they've had multiple games. I would say more than one. I would say at least 2 of all their bench players getting, like, at least 3 of their bench players getting 10 plus points production, and that's absolutely magnificent. That's what the Suns are. A great starting roster, a great bench. They're like the 76ers, but they are a little bit deeper off their bench. So Suns at number 2, this close away from number 1, but the number 1 team we've got to put is the Clippers, man, and they've had an absolutely great week as well. But the reason why we had the Clippers over the Suns here, over this last week, the Clippers have beaten the Rockets, the Pistons twice, and the Pacers. So a little bit of a better competition with the Pacers over the Heat for the Suns. But I mean, Kawhi Leonard is still having load management out here, and they're still getting it done with just Paul George out there on the floor. They lost Patrick Beverley as their starting point guard, but Reggie Jackson is, oh my God, he's absolutely insane out there. It's kind of like Reggie Jackson should have been the starting point guard all season. That's how great he's been playing ever since Patrick Beverley went down. They got Rondo out there, so really just they're having different lineups almost every single night out there, whether it's load management or injuries, but they always kind of seem to rise to the occasion, especially ever since kind of that trade deadline. They've really been just shoring up their team every single game, every single week, so got to start respecting this Clippers team a little bit more. 4-0 this week, getting it done, beating some decent competition out there, winning with only, Paul George, winning with only Kawhi Leonard, winning together. And then that, I'm telling you, that Reggie Jackson stepping up in that starting point guard position is really, it's kind of the tipping point for me that put the Clippers over the Suns. I don't know how the Suns would kind of handle one of their starting 5 players being out. I truly don't think they would kind of fare too well, not as well as this Clippers team has. So this Clippers team, they just kind of, their biggest worry right now is just kind of all being on the same page when everybody's 100% healthy. But I mean, I don't think I'm worrying about that. Just they're getting it done. Rondo's kind of providing that extra oomph needed off the bench if it comes to that point. If Reggie Jackson's not getting it done, we can always trust Rondo out there. So really great squad here. Kawhi Leonard, Paul George getting it done on a nightly basis. So gonna respect this Clippers team. Give them the number 1 seed here. Let's see how they kind of fare this week. Let's see if we have to kind of rearrange our kind of number 1 and 2 go into next week. But for what the Clippers have done this week, we've got them at number 1. So our new power rankings going into next week. Hawks at 10, Warriors at 9, Bucks at 8, Nuggets at 7, Celtics at 6, Nets at 5, 76ers at 4, Jazz at 3, Suns at 2, and the Clippers are the new number 1 team in the NBA. Alrighty, that is going to do it for us today. We are not going to squeeze in K. Johnson. Another day that we are going to have to kind of go out without him, unfortunately. But before we go, let's see if anything's breaking as we were going live. Oh, now Atlanta Falcons players are having some players opt out of the voluntary workouts, in-person voluntary workouts. Alrighty, anything else? Anything else? Good out here. Might look at some rookie Bobby Wagner. Watch this clip of Bobby Wagner, OG Legion of Boom days. What an era. What an era defensively. Alrighty. Anything else? What else do we get? Nothing breaking that I see. Steelers players announced they will not take part in voluntary in-person. So, I mean, every team's really going to do this, folks. Just keep that up. Don't kind of get, caught off guard by it. Don't say, hang on, what? These players are boycotting? No. It's in the contract. It's in the collective bargaining agreement. It's all good. Oh, what is this one? Oh, the Steelers once again. All right. Washington general manager Martin Mayhew says team is, quote, very confident and comfortable with his quarterbacks. Yeah, but is always looking. Yeah, I mean, you've got Taylor Heineke and Ryan Fitzpatrick. I mean, they've shown that they can be serviceable last season, absolutely. And obviously, I mean, those aren't franchise quarterbacks. Those aren't face of the franchise quarterbacks. So obviously, they should still be looking. So no problem with that kind of quick comment. We'll probably go a little bit deeper in that article tomorrow, maybe, if there's anything good in there. Alrighty, folks. So that's it for today. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. K. Johnson will finally fit you in tomorrow. I can guarantee it. So that's it for us today. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. We're back tomorrow, folks. Live, noon Eastern, like always. Alrighty, folks.